this podcast is for vehicle owners, vehicle shoppers, vehicle purchasers, anybody who's looking at the car business and has questions about it, whether you're in the business of doing a transaction or you're just not sure where to start. This is meant to be educational, information-based, and we want to bring to consumers, basically we want to look under the hood of the business. So I'm going to ask you a toughie. This is probably very personal for me too, but what was it like being in the car business in a time when there was no ladies in the car business, let alone in, as a technician? I can't imagine. I walked onto the sales floor when there was no ladies in the car business, and the reaction way back then in the 90s was odd would be a kind word. So what was it like for you to be a technician in a time when there were no women in the car business? And is it different now? Do you find there's a major difference now? How are you received on your Know Your Car nights? Right. With people? Are they open to the fact that you were a technician and they just walk right in and trust you, or is there some hesitation because you're a girl?
It's funny. I was going through my Facebook feed last week, and a memory popped up that a man came up to me about 4 years ago in Milton after an event, and he said to me, "That was pretty good for a girl." Oh. I thought, and at first I was kind of offended, but then I was kind of flattered, oh, he thinks I'm a girl. Well, listen, Kim, right? You've been in this business a long time. You've got a very successful company. As a woman, you've made it happen for yourself, and you've made the steps to do it. That's simply what it is. It's just about, you do have to have a bit of a thicker skin. I have to admit, as a technician and even being a woman in the car business, I've always been treated really, really well. I think I've never had the nonsense I think that some people go through. And I hear those women and I really feel for them, because I just had 2 conversations in the last few weeks with one woman who's in sales and one woman is in service. And they're both leaving the car business after this is over because of the way they're being treated at the store. So disheartening, right? Yeah. I got to admit, I never really put up with a lot of nonsense because I had the background and the education, but I would like to see more women get into the business, and I would like to see the doors being opened a little bit more. We need to have mentorship, I think, even at the high school level, where if I was invited to speak at a high school about what it's like to be a woman in the car business and the opportunities that are there, right? Flip the script. Mm-hmm. Now's your time to shine if you want to get into service. So I think there's, I personally have not experienced a lot of nonsense and a lot of any type of harassment at all, which I'm very thankful for. Yeah. But I can see how it happens. And I can see that it would certainly drive some people from our industry. I'm sure you've seen the same.
Yeah, for sure. I have a similar experience in that I think maybe part of it was being so young and not realizing maybe certain things that would be said, so that made it easier. Certainly nothing ever done. I mean, I worked for such a great auto group right from the beginning, trained really well. I was educated. I knew what I was talking about.
But there is always those jokes, isn't there? There's always always that couple of people who've got they're not harassing you, but they're making comments and or what they consider to be jokes that in today's world would be what I consider to be an HR nightmare.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yeah. And they're just trying to test your leather a little bit, right? Just to see if you're that girl that's going to go squawking.
Right.
Sometimes you do have to suck it up a little bit, but you never have to take harassment. You never have to take abuse. You never have to take all the things that comes with that.
Right.
You can be successful in the business, and it's not a game. You can be your own woman in this business.
Right. Yeah, I find that learning how to be in my own skin and be confident in my own skin. I don't know if it was like a repellent of the nonsense,
Right.
but that was for me key, is really just coming into my own, knowing that I had it. Not, a lot of the times when I look back, it was mainly to try to pull me down off of a success trajectory. I'm trying to say
Trajectory. Yeah.
I can see that now in hindsight, and that's probably, if I was going to say to anybody young getting in, is get educated, get confident, and you got to have the thick skin.
Yeah. And I think you need a mentor.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't it be great? Like these women that I was speaking to, like I said, who've now decided for whatever reason they're probably going to leave the business. I wish they had reached out to me 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we could have a dialogue, even a weekly thing where I'm just texting them, hey girl, here's a new idea for the week. Or, I think that's a growth industry, but I'd be happy to be a mentor. And I know you would be too.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So I think you and we could even lead a charge on that where we're actually reaching out, because they're not calling us.
No.
Right? We need to reach out and say, this is available. There's no charge, girl. Give me a call. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm in for that.
I'm in for that too. Let's dial that up.
Call me.
Call me. ABC, always be closing.
Right. So I'm going to wrap things up here soon. What would be, Christine, one of the things that you would want every car owner to know? Or a few things? That's a biggie, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 things you need to know about the vehicle. Go, stop, emergency. Okay? Okay, so you need to make the car go. So
Right.
what are you going to need? Right? You're going to need good tires.
Yeah.
You're going to need that engine needs to be lubricated with good product. And you're going to need good fuel. Now, also when you're filling up your fuel tank, make sure that you're not overfilling it. Right? Some people do.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, knock that off.
Why?
Because you're ruining a unit attached to your gas tank called a charcoal canister assembly that's designed to remove vapor from in the tank. And when you chronically fill it, you actually flood the canister every time, and eventually it'll quit. It's about a $1,500.
Never said that to me.
Yeah, so knock this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go, right?
Yep.
Oil, tires, fuel.
Yeah.
Stop. Brakes. So many people think, oh my God, I want my brakes to last forever. They don't last forever.
No.
If you maintain them, if you do a brake service, it'll save you money on brake replacement.
Okay.
So if you clean the brakes you've got and keep them moving freely, you'll actually spend less money on replacing brake components down the road. A lot of people don't realize that.
Will my dealer remind me of that when I'm in?
Yeah,
That's part of the regular.
It's a recommendation. Again, it's not part of the warranty process, but if they recommend brake service, I always tell people to take it.
Okay.
And the last thing is emergency. So are you prepared for an emergency? Do you know where your locking wheel nut key is? Right? And I'm not expecting you to keep booster cables in the car. For the most part, I got to be honest with you, keep the hood down. You can't fix your own car at the side of the road.
Right.
When you stand there with the hood up, what you're telling people is, I'm alone and I'm stranded. If you're a crazy person, come and rob me.
Right.
Hood down.
Okay.
You know how to call for help. Do you have a piece of paper, an actual piece of paper with a few phone numbers written on? Because what happens if this is dead?
Right.
Right? Do you have an ability to call, or if somebody approaches the vehicle, could you have them make a call for you? Do you know who to call?
Right.
Right? So emergency. Do you have a decent pair of walking shoes in the car? Don't be skipping around stilettos all the time.
That's awesome.
Right? Do you have a large garbage bag in the car? 2 things it can do. 1, it could hold rain if you get thirsty. It could be a rain jacket if you need to walk.
Yeah.
Or it could be a place to put the dirty old tire that you had to maybe pull off yourself so that you're not mucking up your whole car. Big garbage bag. 3 things it does.
That is huge.
Thanks.
That information is huge. You've changed my life.
It changed your life. Yeah, I'm so happy.
I'm serious.
Yeah, go stop emergency. Those are my key things everybody needs to know.
I am not prepared for an emergency. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was going from one dealership when I was consulting a couple of years ago in northern New Brunswick, and I can't remember the name of the road, but they sent me on a shortcut from one dealership to the other. It was dusk, and they said, you'll be fine. You do lose cell phone like halfway through.
Right.
And it's a dirt path, like cuts right through the province almost, but it's faster. Okay, so I'm going along and I get halfway through with no cell phone. I realize I'm not sure if I've got enough gas because I haven't really tracked this whole thing. And it's winter time. The snowbanks were up above my truck.
Yeah.
And I'm going, literally holding on to the steering wheel going, if I break down, pop a tire, get into I'm literally dead because nobody's going to find me.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
And you didn't have anything with you. I mean, it's one thing if you don't have a phone, but you got to have a blanket, a decent pair of shoes, the garbage bag. I mean, if just a few basics, right? You know what I do? I keep it in a duffel bag. And then when I trade cars, I just move it into the next bag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. I'm putting everything in my car today.
Go stop emergency.
And I'm not doing this anymore.
Nope.
I love that part. It's like, get my little extra cents in. Doop, doop, doop.
Yeah. But then you'll have to pay for a $1,300 canister. So
Yeah.
knock that off. Hey, listen, you're in Nova Scotia, right?
Yep.
I want to send big love to you and everybody out in Nova Scotia. Big love. We did the Wear Red campaign. Are we going to do that again? Is Nova Scotia going to keep that up?
I don't know. I think we probably should. We definitely need some, uplifting spirits. The premier came on right before the weekend and opened up the parks and said, we're probably a little bit too early to do this, but people have to get out and breathe, enjoy.
I know everybody in Canada is thinking about Nova Scotia, and we're all sending you big love out there.
Thank you so much. Just crazy time, but we still, the only thing that we can probably do other than support each other is just keep gratitude always. That's what I try to do. Just keep grateful for what I do have. So.
Yeah, I'm not working right now. So I've got, I'm looking forward to getting back though.
Yes.
As soon as it's safe.
Oh my goodness. We didn't talk anything COVID. One question before you go.
Okay.
If my car is sitting in either my driveway or, in my apartment building, it's inside, it's outside. Do I need to move it if I'm not driving it every single day? Like, is there anything I need to do to make sure that it's not screwing up?
Yeah. So what I would recommend that you do, first of all, make sure you check the tire pressures so that you're not getting any flat spots. So take that vehicle over to the gas station and follow the tips I gave you earlier about filling up your tires. Second, keep the gas tank as full as you possibly can. Don't let it sit for weeks on end at half, because the difference between the top of the tank and the level of fuel, condensation will build into the tank, which will increase the sludge that lives in the bottom. So try to keep the tank as full as you can. Before you drive it, make sure you lift the hood and check and see if you've had any critters building up, any nests in there. Yeah. Okay. Because all the animals will find a spot to, like pine cones and nuts, and they'll store things into there. So make sure you take a look at that. And lastly, take the car out at least once a week for what I call the good zip.
Okay.
So get it up to a good operating temperature at least once a week.
Okay. Go for a drive.
Go for a drive.
I love it. I love it. Christine, where can everybody reach you?
You can find me on my website, thecarlady.ca. And of course, always connect with me on social media at The Car Lady Canada.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on my little podcast Under the Hood. I hope to get you back on again.
I'll be listening.
Yes, for sure. That's awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
stay safe out there in Nova Scotia and take good care of yourself.
Will do. You too.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Time for the spotlight.